Welcome to Restoring Men in History. Today, AI and friendship. There's a new study out. We got a bunch of articles to get through, but we're going to go through this study on AI and friendship companionship, how people are reaching out to AI for friendship. Then we're going to talk about real in-person friendship. Got an article for that and how valuable it is and how it's good for your health and how it's satisfying. So I just was out with friends a couple of weeks ago, a July wedding, and it was fantastic. So this is something I think is very important for men to have in-person friends. So we're going to go through AI, this new survey that came out on AI and how teens and the damage it can do. And then first of all, just let me say, Kurt, Marie, thank you for putting on a fantastic wedding. Hey, I went to this wedding and it was fantastic in Palm Springs. Longtime RMH member. Of course, we do these groups. He's been in it for years and years and years. The longest member, Kurt. And he's a great gentleman, man of perseverance. But what did I like about it? Friendship. It was in-person, real friendship. And we started on Thursday night. We all went out for cigars with Jeff and some of the guys, another great friend, exceptional gentleman. And then Friday night we did cigars again all night till like 1 a.m. And then Saturday, of course, got to see Mike and Dave, and I saw Dave on Friday night, and I saw all these great gentlemen, and I'm telling you, friendship makes me better, and all these gentlemen have enriched my life. So thank you to all the gentlemen that were at the wedding. And then last Saturday, I saw the great Brian and Tara, two dear friends. They're phenomenal individuals, so thank you to them. And again, they enriched me. Why am I bringing this up at the beginning? We're going to talk about friendship and AI. Those are in-person, real friends that I have developed over years. I've known those guys for years and years and years. I've known Brian and Tara for years and years. So I want you to have friends. Let's get into this piece. Interesting piece. Article, teens say they are turning to AI for friendship. Jocelyn Gecker, AP News, July 23rd, 2025. In interviews with the Associated Press and a new study, teenagers say they are increasingly interacting with AI as if it were a companion. Scary. Capable of providing advice and friendship. Scary to me, that is. You gotta have in-person friends. We'll get to that. Everyone uses AI for everything now. It's really taking over, and I'm cautious with AI and where to use it. We've done a couple of pieces. I like to write, think, and read good books on my own and make decisions on my own and solve problems. So, said CHEGE, who wonders how AI tools will affect her generation. I think kids use AI to, guess what she's going to say, get out of thinking. And I talked to a teacher about this. I talked to a bunch of other people who think this is happening and occurring as well, and read some other articles. And there's a big survey, we didn't put this one in here, on how it decreases your thinking ability, problem-solving skill, and creativity. So AI, teens say, has become a go-to source for personal advice, emotional support, every day, and this scares me, decision-making and problem-solving. If you like this subject, subscribe, like, comment. What scares you the most about AI, or how much do you value friendship? All right, let's go on. Again, that last piece, everyday decision-making and problem-solving. Going to AI for personal advice, emotional support, and everyday decision-making and problem-solving. Look, here's my concern. When you're young, I think, is the time to start making decisions. I just talked to this with my good friend and respected friend Brian the other day, and I said, hey man, we made decisions early. You need to make decisions early. It develops your what? Critical thinking skills. It develops your problem-solving skills. And if you do it and you make decisions yourself, you will get better at it. So this one scares me. That's an alert from AI. And again, I don't use AI very much. I wanted to put up a couple of videos with tools you could use because John Wilson had written that piece, my friend, and I wanted to put his piece up. I use it selectively just for pulling up articles and things because I don't want to be dependent upon it. So I'll let it search for articles for something, and it'll pull up 30, 40 articles or something. All right, creatively solving problems. You want to develop how you're going to solve problems and be creative with it. Now, I happen to live near a bunch of woods, and we were outside in the woods all the time growing up, so we had to problem solve, create, use our imaginations, and really, it developed me. And make decisions, and I remember, I was a leader in Boy Scouts and other things, but Scoutmaster got bitten by a rattlesnake, and we had to make the decision on where we went. Dave and I went and got the help, and we ran up this huge hill at Philmont Scout Ranch in the middle of nowhere. We were in the middle of nowhere. It was a 60-mile backpacking trip. Anyway, we ran and got help and the treatment for him. So you're on your own. You want to get accustomed to making decisions. This is important. So that worries me. Advice. Where do you want to get advice from? I want to get it from good friends who align with my values, right? So, but the main thing is friendship here and problem solving and thinking. You want to be thinking and making decisions so you what? Build skills and thinking, creating and solving problems, not creating, solving. So get this, more than 70% of teens, that's a high number, have used AI companions and have used them regularly. According to a new study, this one from Common Sense Media, a group that studies and advocates, and that's in this piece article, so you don't have to go look for it, for using screens and digital media sensibly. The study defines AI companions as platforms designed to serve as digital friends. Scary, sad also. Like character, AI, or replica, which can be customized with specific traits or personalities and can offer emotional support, companionship, conversations that can feel human-like. Now remember that word, feel human-like, because they're not human. But popular sites like ChatGPT and Claude, which mainly answer questions, are being used in the same way, researchers say. Now, here's a key, and I've been concerned, as the technology rapidly gets more sophisticated, teenagers and experts worry about AI's potential to redefine human relationships and exacerbate the crisis of loneliness and youth mental health. Look, people are lonely all over. We've done multiple loneliness videos. So we're not going to get into all the stats, but there's lonely, depression, suicide, isolation all over the United States. And I'm concerned about screen time. One study says that it's about 7 hours a day for Americans. Others say different. But here's the point. It's gone down since social media, even. And now you have AI coming in, which really concerns me. Again, I use it in a very limited way to pull up a ton of research pieces or articles. And then I check that, and I actually go in the article and read it, though. So anyway, loneliness, depression, screen time and social media has already affected relationships, right? Even before that, there was the book, Bowling Alone. It was in decline in America. AI is always available, going on. It never gets bored with you. It's never judgmental, says Ganesh Nair, an 18-year-old in Arkansas. When you're talking to AI, you are always right. You're always interesting. You're always emotionally justified. Now, in real life, you probably won't be right all the time, right? But that's a good thing because you can learn from mistakes and go forward because you're making the decision, right? I used to say to a girl, look, I may make a decision, but I'll fix it, right? I will learn from it and fix it, so don't worry about it. If I make the decision, I'll fix it. And then you're accountable if you make the decision too, right? So you will learn and build skills by making more decisions, getting out in the real world, interacting with people. And this person's talking about more interesting people. Well, let me give you a key. You need to be interested in people first, genuinely, not fake. And I am. Like I just was talking about Brian and Tara, I wanted to hear what was going on with their life. When I was out in Palm Springs, I wanted to hear what was going on in their life, not talk about myself. That's kind of boring. So be genuinely interested in the other person across from you, genuinely, about their life goals, their dreams, and help them if you can. Don't be about you, be about them, right? Now, if you want to be more interesting as well, aside from that, read good, strong books. It'll help you with your thinking, and it'll make you more interesting to people. Read long articles. Ask people questions about themselves and listen to them. Care about your friends, your good friends, genuinely. Now, just interacting with an AI on the computer is not going to develop that as much. Interacting with real people, with real needs, with real wants, with real goals, with real dreams, with real emotions and personalities will be different. And you will learn how to deal with different individuals and personalities in the workplace, in groups, in sports, and other areas by interacting with people. So go experience the outside, get outside to become more interesting. Do things, take on hobbies, have hobbies. And listen to this story. All that used to be appealing, but as Nair heads to college this fall, and this is interesting, he wants to step back from using AI. Good. Nair got spooked after a high school friend who relied on an AI companion for heart-to-heart conversations with his girlfriend later had the chatbot, get this, write the breakup text ending their 2-year relationship. Now look, first of all, on this text breakup, if you're in the same city, I think you should break up in person, all right? Secondly, write the text yourself. Don't use AI. You're developing your mind to write it. That's a personal text. It's not meet me at 5 o'clock at the Cigar Club. It should be personal and meaningful and come from you. All right. That felt a little bit dystopian, that a computer generated the end to a real relationship. That is sad. Said Nair. It's almost like we're allowing computers to replace our relationships with people. And that is my concern. Relationships have already been in decline. We're going to put some stats up later from an American survey, that as well. Now, I have incredible friends. I want to thank them. I'm grateful to you. I run groups of men too, so I don't have that deficiency. I want you to not have that deficiency. So look, you can build skills in building relationships by interacting and developing friendships. That's how you're going to build it. Warren Buffett, I believe it was Warren Buffett who said, I thought he said maybe the at least important in hiring, how they get along with other people. I believe he was the one who said that. Don't quote me. So how are you going to get along with other people? How are you going to interact with them? And how are you going to have rich, fulfilling relationships? Get going. It's okay for people to get upset. You learn dealing with real people. It will teach you. You can also learn by leading. And you will learn that some people who are just very unhappy with life and themselves are just going to be upset and it has nothing to do with you. In the Common Sense Media Survey, 31% of teens said their conversations with AI companions were satisfying or more satisfying than talking with friends. Scary. Even though half of teens said they distrust AI's advice. Get that? Half of them distrust it, but they're going to it anyway. What does that mean? 33% had discussed, well, I'll tell you what I think it means. 33% had discussed serious or important issues with AI instead of real people. Now, real people have been through things. They have life experiences generally, some of them, not all. But if you go to a person with a lot of life experience in that arena, in that area, he's going to have real life experience. And you get to choose your friends, right? So they don't think they're as satisfying, so I would say this, what friends are you choosing? If they're not as satisfying, then perhaps you need to handle them differently, or perhaps you need to choose different friends. Because you get to choose your friends, not family. And that's a big piece. So why would AI be more satisfying than the friends you're picking? And the next question would be about you. How are you choosing them? What are you doing with them? Are you talking to them? Are you engaging them? Are you asking them questions? Are you invested in them? Right? Are you invested in their goals and dreams? Are you even interested in them? Do you have similar values and virtues? We're not going to do this today, but if I was picking friends, I'd have them align with my values and virtues, and that's what I do. Are you headed in the same direction? Do you want the same goals for the country? Are you aligned politically, a free market, or whatever that is, it may be? That doesn't always have to be the case. But I think a deepness can come out of chasing similar goals and having similar values and virtues and being headed in the same direction, right? If their ambition is great, your ambition might be great, right? But I can tell you, my friends are more interesting and satisfying than AI. Brian, Kurt, Jeff, I can go through a big list, John. I can't leave somebody out, but tons of people that are much more interesting than AI. I don't have a friendship with AI. I don't want one. So I consider it a tool, like I said, to pull up articles. So I'm thinking also, if you're using AI for friendship, it might be for some people, guessing, that it's easier, less conflict. They're not going to disagree with you. They're not going to fight back. It's not in person. They can't really hurt you. You can't get your feelings hurt. You can't hurt their feelings, right? So I think it's easier than going out on the world and then trying to make a friend. And we'll get to that at the end, and we'll tell you how to make a few friends. So you don't have to take the initiative on that, right? You just pop on your computer and create an AI friend. You've got an AI friend sitting there 24/7 at your fingertips when you want it. And with friends, you learn to be like, hey, let me think about their needs and their wants, right? You're thinking about them, not just you. So with AI, you don't have to take the time to go find a friend. You don't have to be asking them questions. You don't have to be about them. You don't have to say, let's get together at this time and make a plan. It's easier, right? It's like dating. It would be easier than walking up to a girl at a bar and asking her out and getting her number, taking her out, right? That's harder, right, for some people. So you don't have to plan. You don't have to work around people. All right, let's keep going. Then there's a romantic angle. I don't think we'll get to that. I think we'll stick to friendship. I mean, there's not a romantic article here, but there's a romantic piece in it too as well, that people are reaching out for romantic relationships, which I find truly strange. which I read in another piece. So anyway, they may push back, and then you will learn how to deal with that, right? You're going to learn by getting pushed back with. They may also challenge you in a good way, a real in-person friend. But real friends that challenge you and make you think can make you better, right? So going on. These findings are worrisome, says Michael Robb, the study's lead author and head researcher at Common Sense, and should send a warning to parents, teachers, policymakers. So, well, this is mainly going to be up to parents at this level, at the teen level. They're going to control what apps and phones, and that has to be up to the parents. So find and develop good friendships. Going on, it's eye-opening, said Robb. When we set out to do the survey, we had no understanding of how many kids are actually using AI companions. The study polled more than 1,000 teens nationwide in April and May. Adolescence is a critical time for what? Developing identity, social skills, independence, which I really believe in. We had independence. Robb said, and AI companions would complement, not replace, real-world interactions. I agree, but unfortunately, real-world interactions have been on decline already. Quote, if teens are developing social skills on AI platforms where they are constantly being validated, not being challenged, I just talked about that, not learning to read social cues or understand somebody else's perspective, they are not going to be adequately prepared for the real world, he said. I think it's true. You have to learn all that. You learn all that by getting and interacting with all different kinds of people that have emotions, agendas, interests other than yours, and some of them have emotional problems, right? They have an anger, right? They're unhappy, really unhappy with their life, right? So you will learn from that. You'll learn by getting out there. Researchers and educators worry about the cognitive cost. I worry about this as well for youth who rely heavily on AI, especially in their creativity. We talked about this. I'm worried about their creativity, critical thinking, and social skills. Kind of just mentioned it. You always want to develop your creativity, critical thinking, and social skills. The potential dangers of children forming relationships with chatbots gained attention last year when a 14-year-old Florida boy died by suicide after developing an emotional attachment to a character AI chatbot. Sad. That's very sad. You need friends, right? In-person, real-life friends. Going on. Parents really have no idea this is happening, said Eva Telzer, a psychology and neuroscience professor at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. All of us are struck by how quickly this blew up. Telzer is leading multiple studies on youth and AI, a new research area. Telzer's research has found that children as young as 8 are using generative AI, and also found that teens are using AI to explore their sexuality and for companionship. Not good. It's really scary. And think about the screen time. If it's already at 7 hours or 9, depending on which study you read, I just read one that said 7 for Americans. This is going to increase your screen time, take you away from more people, take you out of hearing others' thoughts. And by the way, talking to people can also help you get clear of your idea if you're not listening to them. And I like to listen a lot. But if you're expressing an idea in a meeting, and it's a set-up meeting, and then I will talk about it. Let's say we have an actual meeting on how to grow the groups or something, or how you're going to do this business, how you're going to increase business in this business. Then, by articulating in a business meeting, talking about the numbers and the measurements you want to see, by talking those out, it will help you identify what you're wanting to gain and getting what measurements you want, right? It'll help you get that out in a business meeting where you're talking about numbers and you're talking about a deal you want to close, or in a meeting with other people by asking questions of the customer, right? So getting in front of people helps, is my point. All right. Teens are using AI to explore their sexuality and for companionship. In focus group, Telzer found that one of the top apps teens frequent is Spicy Chat AI. That sounds bad to begin with. Doesn't that sound bad? A free role-playing app intended for adults. Many teens also say they use chatbots to write emails or messages to strike the right tone in sensitive situations. Listen, if it's a tone message, first of all, I'm probably going to call. If it's important, I'm going to call, because tone can get messed up in an email. So I'm going to call first. And remember, whenever some customer was really upset, I would pick up the phone and call them. I didn't want an email going out. I wanted to call them and take the hit and let them go ahead and yell at me. That's better. And then you can say, I understand we messed up. We're going to fix it. Right? I understand, sir. We're going to fix it. We messed up. So get it over with. I faced it. Right when I got the message, they were upset and whatever was blowing up, I called. So you get better by writing it and doing it and interacting with real people. Here's the same concern I had. We'll try to get through this, a lot of here. One of the concerns that comes up is they no longer have trust in themselves to make a decision. I just talked about this to Brian the other day. Said Telzer. They need feedback from AI. Now get this, before feeling like they can check off the box that an idea is okay or not. Not good. You're getting confidence wins deals. You need to be confident in what you're doing. Not checking with AI to see if it's the right decision and getting better at it, right? You're only going to get better at making decisions by making some mistakes and getting out there and making them alone and by yourself. We did it all the time. So you need to learn to make decisions. You need to get better at making decisions by making decisions, making mistakes and learning, and making them when no parent or AI or person is around, right, is my advice, because we made a lot of decisions on our own. And when I was leading as a kid, other boys made a lot of decisions on my own. Develop me. That will develop you. Arkansas teen Bruce Perry, 17, says he relates to that and relies on AI tools to craft outlines and proofread essays for his English class. If you tell me to plan out an essay, I would think of going to ChatGPT, he says, before getting out a pencil, Perry said. He uses AI daily and has asked chatbots for advice in social situations to help him decide what to wear and write emails and to teachers, saying AI articulates his thoughts faster. You want to get better at it. You do that by thinking through and working it out. Perry says he feels fortunate that AI companions were not around when he was younger. Quote, I'm worried that kids could get lost in this. They could get lost in it. They've gotten lost, and many people have gotten lost in social media and don't read anymore. We should come back and do that on reading. So many people already don't have a lot of friends. Wait a minute. Perry said, I could see a kid that grows up with AI not seeing a reason to go to the park or try to make a friend. Two bad things with that. One, you need to be outside and getting exercise and walking as a kid. We were outside all the time in the woods, crazy. And two, you need to make friends. I need to have them early on. They will be so beneficial and satisfying to have real life personal friends. You got to pick them. Pick the friends you like and hang around the people you like that match up with your virtues and values. So I think this will make it worse for many people. This is a fear, this is a concern I have, not a fear, a concern. We've been in decline already. This is going to increase the decline, is my fear. From Science of Friendship, which this piece is within this article, we'll put it up, and in that, despite the risk, Americans are getting lonelier, right? In 2021, 12% of U.S. adults said they did not have any close friends. Up from, get this, you know what it was in 1993%. The State of American Friendship Change, Challenges, and Loss Survey, Center on American Life 2021, is it within this piece, which is the Science of Friendship. That decline began well before the COVID-19 pandemic, with companionship and social engagement among friends, get this, family, and others decreasing steadily over the past 2 decades. Cannon, BD, Population Health. So we've talked about it often. We believe in strong friendships that align with your values. It's been in decline for a long time, going on. Other teens agree, saying the issues with AI and its effects on children's mental health are different from those of social media. Quote, now, I was already concerned about social media, but let's go on. Their quote, social media complemented the need people have to be seen, to be known, to meet new people. Nair said, I think AI complements another need that runs a lot deeper, our attachment and our need to feel emotions. It feeds all of that. It's the new addiction. Nair added, that's how I see it. Well, look, you need meaningful relationships. And we can trace a decline. Also, there's another piece I read for this. I don't think we'll put it up because we've got a bunch of pieces up already that trace social engagement in decline from 2012 on. What was that? Of course, apps combined with, social media apps combined with the smartphone, right? So since smartphone and social media apps, there's been a decline. And Bowling Alone was written before that, when it was already in decline. Groups, organizations in decline. So humans need a social connection, and they need to be part of something larger than themselves, I think. We say that a lot here. I think it helps. Be a part of something outside of yourself and larger than yourself. And I know in my experiences, I'm telling you, I've had good friends all my life. They have enriched my life. The people last Saturday, the people at that wedding at Kurt's, the great Kurt, and they have enriched me. Right, Kurt Chatham? So, also health. Friendships are good for your health. So we'll go to this. Why in-person friendships are better for health than virtual pals. Washington Post, Marta Zaraska. Maria Branas, who is 117, the oldest known living person on Earth, believes that one of the secrets, get it, what do you think the secret's going to be? What she says at 117. She says one of the secrets to a healthy life is a good connection with friends and family. No shock. Growing body of research shows you might be onto something. It's been long known that people who enjoy high-quality friendships have better health. The science of friendship, we've got that piece earlier, has a lot on that. The effect is so strong, it's comparable to the longevity benefit of eating a Mediterranean diet. But simply having good friends, this is an important piece, and feeling connected isn't enough. But simply having good friends and feeling connected isn't enough. Research suggests that for our health to truly thrive, we need to physically meet with our friends, on a regular basis. You got that? And I meet John once a month, minimum. And then in the groups, I meet every single person, everybody who shows up at all the groups every month, right? A recent study analyzed data from nearly 13,000 volunteers, examining not only their number of friends, but also whether they saw each other. Having face-to-face contact with friends at least once per week, was a strong predictor of better physical and mental health. That's worth it, right? Look. And that's huge, right? Because we've done this, look at how much loneliness, depression, isolation we have, and look how many mental health problems we have in America right now. So that would help that, right? Going on. Calling or texting. What about calling and texting? You think that's as valuable? Make a note if you do. Calling or texting didn't bring similar benefits. Not a shock, not just common sense. Says Eric Kim, professor of psychology at the University of BC and the study's lead author. A study in Japan showed that men who spend little time with their friends less than a few times a year had a 30% higher mortality risk than those who enjoyed more frequent contact. In the U.S., there's a friendship recession, Kim says. We say this all the time. We've talked about why in-person friendships are good for you. Humans are social animals, and being surrounded by friendly others lowers our risk of, get all these things, coronary heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, even cancer. Isn't that valuable enough to have friends? It's also, just for me, enriching and satisfying. That's a big thing for me. Pretty much any way you cut it, any way you measure it, being more socially connected is associated with better health. Says Julianne Holt-Lundstedt. That's the study I was talking about, a neuroscientist at Brigham Young University. And that study can be found here, The Science of Friendship. So it is called The Science of Friendship. So you can find all these different studies in The Science of Friendship. We couldn't get to that piece today. We put some of it in here. And here's my wish for you today. I hope you can have as good of friends as I do. That's my wish for you. And how will you do that? You got to develop them. It's up to you. So how would you do that? First of all, it's up to you. You get to choose your friends. They're not like family. So take advantage of it. You get to do this. You can go choose friends. How are you going to do that? And you can build good friendships that are fulfilling and satisfying. I'm telling you, good friends are so fulfilling. We can go sit and talk for hours and hours from 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. with certain friends about every single issue, philosophy, politics, life, their dreams, their goals, their interest. So where can you go meet friends? What are your interests and hobbies? Find them there. One of our guys in the groups goes to gaming groups, and he meets them like I think every Thursday night. He goes to this in-person gaming group. One of our guys, another guy I met, goes to car things, car events where they bring out classic cars, vintage cars, and old trucks, all different kinds of truck car events. So what do you like? Do you like games? Do you like trucks? Do you like cars? Sports leagues? You want to get into sports leagues? Where would you like to meet people? And remember, here's another thing. Cigar bars are great. Why are they great? Because you're going to have to at least smoke a cigar for an hour. And a lot of the people go back over and over. So you can have the opportunity to get to know several. And always there seems to be somebody who wants to talk in a cigar bar, cigar club, right? So you go in there, you sit down. Somebody's probably going to talk to you. And by the way, you can initiate it and you can talk to them first, right? Now you can tell if somebody doesn't want to be bothered if they're on the computer or something. I'm not talking about that. And there's always usually a pocket of guys, a group. And if you go in there, sometimes they'll probably say hello, and they'll probably invite you to the group eventually if you're talking to them a little bit, and then you'll have a group of guys. So cigar club is great because a lot of the guys go back to the same shop. A cigar bar or a sports bar, you could start talking about the game and then lead into the questions. Who's it up to ask the questions? You. The initiative is on you. So if you sit in a cigar bar and there's a sports TV and there's a couple of guys watching, you say, hey, you like that team? Or if you're sitting in a cigar bar and there's no game on, you say, what book are you reading? Do you like books? Whatever, you can just start asking questions, right, about them. Simple questions, not deep, not personal, just like, what book are you reading? Well, let's wrap this up. One last note, make sure you're thinking, reading good books, and developing and building friendships. Reach out, ask the questions you need to ask. Get better at decision making by what? Making decisions. If you like this subject, please like, comment, subscribe, make a comment about how valuable friendship is to you, or if you're using AI and in what ways. Thank you and have a magnificent day. And thank you for your time and watching. We know it's valuable.